What's popping? We here. What's going on? We here with LegacyBuildersUS.com in the motherfucking building. And today we're talking about don't die broke. You feel what I'm saying? Don't do it. Don't do it. And talk about dying. Rest in peace to Roberta Flack. She just died. She's
oh shit.
Yeah, so rest in peace to Roberta Flack. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not too sure.
What happened?
For those who don't know, explain who Roberta Flack is.
He's like, I don't know who that is. All you youngins. So Roberta Flack, she's a singer. You know the song "Killing Me Softly" that the Fugees did?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the original of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So she was a singer and shit. Yeah. So shout out to her, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Shout out to June Sports. Charlie in the building. What's going on? So so don't die broke. So what we talking about with this topic? You feel what I'm saying?
A lot of times, people, they pass away and they didn't leave anything behind for their families, to continue on that legacy. Like they literally leave their families in debt.
Legacy. I see what you did there. Go to Legacy Build.
Right. And too many too often do it. Like we gotta, and that's a problem. Like we don't leave our families nothing at all but some debt. And a memory. That's it. Right. Could the memory live on forever? Yes. But now you just continue the tradition of leaving that family member debt, and it's not, and it is their fault, but it's not their fault. Why? Because what did they get left behind from their parents?
Right.
Or their loved ones. They probably didn't get that much left over, from their parents as well. So it's a tradition that we have to break that curse, because it is a curse. And when you die broke, not only do you leave debt behind, but you leave problems behind as well for the people who are living. Now you pass away. Let's create a scenario. You pass away. You have a home, and you have a family. You have kids. You have a wife, right? The wife, even though she was making money, she was still relying on you as the husband to make sure that certain bills were taken care of, the mortgage was paid, the car note was paid. Now who's paying for these things now that the husband passed away? And they only had about maybe $10,000 saved up in the bank or something like that. So she may be good for the first few months or maybe half a year, but what happens after that?
Right.
And a lot of times we put ourselves in this position. We don't think the inevitable, which is promised to us from day one, which is that we're going to die someday. So why not prep for it? And a lot of times we don't do that. So we end up, and this is like most people live like this. Why we live like this? Simply just because we are taught that, but we have to unlearn this bad behavior and stop dying, broke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
So I think one of the most popular, I guess you could say, arguments against would be, well, I'm dead, so what's the point, right? Like, why do I need to worry? But you said that you leave debt. Can we talk about how the transfer of debt goes when it comes to family?
Yeah. So, essentially, if someone dies, you have a mother or father, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you did things the right way in terms of you're the power of attorney. You're the person that handles the wills and trusts and that type of stuff, or you're their legal representation. What happens is that if you do that proper step, now debts can be transferred to you. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where once you're the last person that they leave on, it can transfer over to you. Now, how deep creditors go, that's a different story for another day, but it can impact you and it can affect you. Because at the end of the day, if you're their representative, it's going to come back to you at the end of the day. And then if you carry the same last name as well, it is something that gets traced back to you. That's why when you think about it, remember back in the day when you was a little kid and you had a phone bill. It's the same concept. You know what I mean? You're tied to people based off what they set up overall at the end of the day.
So you're saying that like if you die, then does it happen automatically to your family, or did someone have to sign off on it?
Or someone has to sign off on it. So, for example, if you die, if you die and you appoint nobody to you, you're good. You know what I mean? It's not that you're good, but
Right.
it's less chance they're going to do deep searches for you.
Right.
But
So
if
that
somebody
means,
is actually legitimately assigned power of attorney, the funeral.
oh, and then they'll be responsible for
Yeah.
the debt. Oh, that's crazy. Wow. So then
Exactly.
people are gonna be like,
Exactly.
so most of your family probably gonna be like, I ain't trying to sign shit.
Right.
He gonna be like,
No, but
he
that's
gonna
why
be
it happens that way. Yeah,
Right.
that's why it always happens that way, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's exactly why. It's like signing that birth certificate for that kid that ain't yours. Once you sign that birth certificate,
That kid is yours.
You know what I mean? It's the same concept, you know.
But
plus on
let
the
me
outside debt stand of it, you know. Go ahead.
no, I wanted to ask. So, and two questions: Do you guys do trusts? And how does it work if you have a trust? Like, so let's just say you have a trust and there's a certain amount of money in the trust. Like, let's say I die. Let's say I'm a father. You know, I got a family of 4, 2 kids and a wife. And let's just say personally, I have some credit card debt, but the house, my savings, and all this other shit is in the trust. Like, let's just say my Robinhood is in the trust. My life insurance plan is in the trust, right? Does the money automatic, like, does the money in the trust take care of my debt, or like, how do you know how that stuff works? And like I said, if I go to Legacy Builders US, do you guys do trust, or can refer me to somebody that does trust?
We do both. So we do trust and we refer it out depending on the level of trust you're trying to do.
Okay.
But it's layers to it. To your point, if you have a trust, at the end of the day, that trust is supposed to delegate and pay out to the known bills that remain. So meaning that it's that person's responsibility to find out any outstanding debts, and the lawyers do searches and things of that nature for any outstanding debts. Supposed to pay those things. Now, if it doesn't come up in search, it doesn't come in the search. A lot of things fall under the radar. You know what I mean? To your point, yes, it is supposed to pay out all those debts that's owed, and then the reimbursement gets back to everybody else. And then for tax purposes for the trust, that's good because the trust, it avoids you paying all these probate taxes and all that type of stuff if you don't have in line. So if you don't have your things in order and you're not buried properly and you don't have it set up in a court, they actually tax you more because of that. You pay way more taxes when you die.
Right.
Well, a person on your behalf, should I say.
That's
right. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, because I wanted to, because I'm thinking about just the idea of a trust, and I'm like, does it help with that part too? Because I know we'll all, die with some type of debt. Like you still got a car note, or you still paying on a mortgage, or some shit like that, or all these things come about. So it's like, I wonder if a trust helps you take care of that shit too, and that's a thing.
Yeah, the will and trust, it goes over everything. It goes over who's going to pull a plug for you. Like if you want your cousin to pull a plug for you, if it's I don't want to live anymore. All that stuff. The wills, it goes over every single thing. Who wants your baseball cards from 1992? Every single little thing. The will and trust. You know what I mean? Go over.
Nigga said baseball cards.
That's crazy, man. So the thing is, like, when you say don't die broke, is that more so for the concept of your family members, or is it just, is it also applying to, like, are we talking about like just in general, you don't want to die, or you don't want to live being broke and then die broke? You know what I'm saying? Like which angle?
Exactly.
So
that's the angle right there, though. Yeah. You don't want to live broke and die broke, because that's an embarrassment at that time. It happens to a lot of us. So you know what I mean. But it's and I joke about it myself all the time, though. Like, you know what I mean. Like, when my family, like, at least if I die, I leave somebody something. You know what I mean. Like, I'm worth more dead than alive right now. Right. Now I'm working on catching up to be worth more than alive and dead. But at least if you go out, you know what I mean, leave something for your family, because these policies are affordable. You know what I mean? You get a little $500,000 policy, $1 million policy, you leave your family in better places. And that's how other races and cultures build up, where you see these kids where they got the house left for them and the house is paid off and they got extra money so they can reinvest.
Right. I got a question. So
I was going to say something about it.
Yeah. I was going to say, let's just say we ain't got no trust, none of that, right? But we got the Oh, okay. I guess I might answer my own question, but it's still a question for anybody who's listening. So you get like a life insurance policy, and there's a and you know and to your to the credit of what you guys do, the life insurance policies help you to sustain wealth while you're alive, and it also has a death benefit payout. Correct? Right.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
100%.
As you fund your life insurance policy, that money is money that also gets compounded with stock market interest and things like that. Correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And then of course when you pass, you also get the payout. So if you get a $500,000 like a $500,000 insurance policy, so if you don't touch none of it and you just kept funding it, they'll get the funding money and they'll get the payout.
Absolutely. They'll get the death benefit plus whatever cash that accumulated in the policy. Absolutely.
Okay. Beautiful.
If they didn't touch
it. If they didn't touch it. Now, without a trust and all that other stuff, let's just say I have some debt. Well, my family could use that to pay off the debt.
Yeah, they can.
Okay.
It's up to them. Whoever gets the beneficiary gets the money. The quote unquote right thing to do is to go ahead and pay that off. So if you got $1 million coverage or $500 coverage, and if you think about it logically, you would pay it off because in that same scenario, if you got $5,000 left on the car, why wouldn't you pay off the car?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's crazy. Man, it's usually you guys is freezing a little bit. I had
freezing a little bit, yeah. But guys, y'all could call 917-405. Wait, no. What am I saying?
You want to say your number?
What's the number on this bitch? I'll be forgetting.
919. Let me put it up. Hold on. Dude, you was about to say your actual number and shit. Hold on. Here we go.
Yeah, 919-647-9392. If y'all want to ask a money question, guys, we got a few people in the chat and all that. So yeah.
Right. That's crazy though. But I think also too it's tough to think about don't die broke, because I feel like some people at a certain point in life, they kind of just say, fuck it, this is as much as or where it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? As far as money and finances are concerned. Mm-hmm. But I think also the reason why that happens is because you might have people who don't necessarily they don't know. Like for example, there's a lot of people that don't understand life insurance, or don't understand, different things like that. So then of course you're not going to take advantage of certain things in order to make that happen. And also too, people don't understand what might happen to their family. Because I feel like there's people that don't give a shit about what happens with their family after they die, because they're like, fuck it, I'm gonna be dead. Who gives a fuck about these motherfuckers?
Right.
Like, I'll be dead. But then there are people who give a shit, who do care, and they're like, shit, well, when I die, I want to make sure I'm able to leave them something. So what are some of the things specifically, and I know you guys talk to me about this, but what are some of the things specifically that most people don't know that they should know if they are interested in like leaving money for their family? Like, should they, what type of life insurance policy should they get? Should they, start making more money and putting more money into that? Like, what are some things that people could do? Like they say, hey, Kayleen, Rashidi, I want to be able to make sure my family is in the best position possible when I die. What are like some of the steps that you would tell this person to take, or what should they do?
Yeah. To your point, some of the stuff is just starting off with getting a basic life insurance policy. Mm-hmm. Just thinking about the people you want to leave the money to, whether you have kids. If you do have kids, and they're under 18, it has to be another person on the policy itself so they can handle some of the money. Because otherwise a kid can't get that money until they're 18, mm-hmm. 18, things like that. So simple stuff like that. Just thinking about who the people you trust in your life, getting a policy, that question really comes up because deep down, we don't really think about who do we really trust with close things if something does happen.
Who do I trust?
Right.
So those are some of the conversations we have of who do you trust, who can you depend on. And you find out quick, it's not many people. You'd be surprised, like, oh damn, I don't really trust nobody. I gotta pick somebody for beneficiary.
Right.
But we just talk about basic stuff. Like, wait, you got rent if you're the breadwinner in a family and you got rent and you pass away and rent's $2,500, $3,000 and you in New York and the other family members ain't pulling in the money, you got to have a policy to cover that. That's how you going to live. Now you got to spread out and live with other family members, inconvenience everybody else at the end of the day. So we have conversations about that. How you living? You know, things you got to pay off to the point. You die and the car was in your name. Now they can take the car at some point if you miss a payment. Mm-hmm. The house is in your name. That's a big thing. The house is in your name and you don't have a life insurance policy, and now the family got to pay that mortgage. What happens when you can't afford to pay that mortgage anymore? They take the house and everything is lost. So all that work that was put in there, you lost everything. Exactly. There's so many layers to the simplest thing. Even moving. You die and you got to move. You still got to pay $2,000 to move. Where you gonna move your furniture? Can you put the stuff in storage? Mm-hmm. Like it gets deep where people don't think about the everyday basics that you could barely afford to sustain.
And then you got to add to that, it be little things. Like there's some people, okay, let's say they don't have kids, right? But yet they still take their aunt to the supermarket every Saturday at 10 a.m. or whatever the case may be. Or, you know, they take their cousin to the doctor's appointment, you know, every Friday at 9 a.m. Right? The simple things that a person would do, you want to let them, okay, what if you're not there anymore? Who is going to do these things for these family members that you were once doing? Right? So then we help them see from that perspective as well. Yes, money is the main objective to make sure that gets supplemented. However, it's still a physical things that you are part of. You ever remember back in the days when we used to watch cartoons and like the ghosts would like show the person when they're not there no more how things would run like in the home, like when that person is not no more. It's that concept of just imagine, because it's hard to imagine you not being there when you are present in real time. Mm-hmm. But we help them see what's actually taking place when you are not there no more. How things can just drastically change, and what's the best step that you can take in order to supplement you not being there anymore. And that's the main goal of what we do. We literally have to show people how things are going to be when you're not around anymore, and explain to them the value of you taking this proper step in getting a life insurance policy, not just for you, but for you non-existing anymore. And that's like the main thing that we help that. And then we also go through a financial analysis and find out what's the best product for them. Because, you know, yes, the IUL is the greatest thing on the planet, but not everybody needs an IUL at the moment. Some people may need the term. You know, I apologize if the internet's going in and out. But in general, this is why we do it. This is how we explain things. And this is how we talk to our people. We just want to make sure that they understand the value of what we do, because it's going to happen. It's just a question of when, and you want to be prepared for it. They say if you stay ready, you never got to get ready. But and it's hard for anybody in general to picture themselves not there. So we just help them see that light.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now that's real shit though, like, that you're saying about, you know, not if but when, because it's gonna happen, and we never think about how impactful or how, you know, we're connected to all these different situations flowing how it needs to flow. So if you're not there, it's like, okay, well, yeah, who's gonna do this? If you're the one doing all the things, what happens when you're not there? How do these people continue to make things go down when you're not there? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's an important, like, you know, aspect of the whole entire thing, and people got to look at that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, and I think that's why people shouldn't want to die broke, because if you you know, are making a good amount of money and you have, you know, a good amount of money saved up, or you're doing some other things with your money to grow it or whatever, and then you do die or pass away, then your family can use that money that you had because you ain't die broke. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, I think the problem is that, you know, we all feel like we're going to live to 100. You know what I'm saying? So, so because we think that, we're not thinking about these other things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, all the other people are going to die except for me. You know, I'm going to live to 100. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the only thing the other day too about death. I was like, yo, the funny part about death is that it's like anytime, any place. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's like there's this idea like, oh well, she's young, she has all the time in the world, like, or he's young, he got all this time. It's like, no, you could die at 7. Who the fuck knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, so
correct.
So knowing that, this is why people should really be on top of their shit and say, okay, well, if this or when this happens, what do I have in place?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think it should be more of a conversation of when, you know what I mean? Versus.
And to add to that too, when you pass away, right, you still have a limited amount of time before you're forgotten.
Right.
You have a limited amount of time before you're forgotten. So depending on what your contribution was after you pass away would determine how long that length of time is before you're forgotten. Now, if you're famous, that will last some time if you really had made a stamp on this earth. If Michael Jackson, no one's gonna ever forget Michael, right?
Right.
But if you're the regular average Joe and you pass away, what you left behind is going to make a stamp to that immediate family, right? To your close friends. What you left them will last an X amount of time. But guess what? What's gonna happen is they're gonna mourn, they're gonna be in sorrow. However, they still have to go to work. They still have to pick the kids up from school. They still may be driving somewhere, and be in traffic. They still have to do their daily activities as well. So even though the memory lives on, you will still, to a degree, be forgotten. But what you leave, imagine you leave $1 million versus just leaving a memory.
Right.
You literally change someone's life by leaving that money. I promise you, that person is not going to forget you.
they can't forget you. Uncle Johnson left me this house.
Right.
Like, they can't forget you.
I got a question for y'all. Now, we talked about having a cash amount in your, for example, IUL plus a if you get $1 million policy, so you got $1 million policy. Now let's just say you grinded real hard and you was able to have almost 500,000, right? Is it possible to say, well, I don't want you to just give my family the 1.5 million, right? Because 500,000 plus $1 million cash payout, right? And if you name a beneficiary, say your wife or your kid or whatever, can you tell the financial institution, well, I don't want you to do that. What I want you to do is continue to or take it and put it into an interest bearing account and pay my family the interest on a monthly basis. Is it possible for you to do that? Or do you have to get a trust, or how would you set that up if that's possible?
Yeah,
Hello?
so you to your point, you would have to get a trust. So that's the point of beneficiaries. You're leaving the responsibility. You're leaving the responsibility for the 2 people or 3 people that leave on as beneficiary at that point. So because the life insurance is not going to get involved unless you're donating the money directly into a charity, into a fund, if you don't have anybody to leave it to. Because you do have that option if you have nobody to leave it to put it in a interest bearing account, that type of stuff. But it still has to be delegated to who it goes to, even if you're doing that. But that's the purpose of doing the beneficiary. So you have 1 to 3 beneficiaries. So something happened to one, you guys could put that money in the trust, all that type of stuff, and that money's allocated that way.
Because me personally, I'd rather do that shit where my family could get residual income as opposed to a lump sum of $1 million, because I know my family, niggas in my family is knuckleheads.
Right. Exactly.
Seriously. And if they get a windfall of $1 million one fucking time, they're gonna buy, a G-Wagon, a Lamborghini, and a house, and then the money's gone. Meanwhile, the oil change on the Lamborghini is another $5,000. The house that they bought is another $50,000 a month to keep, to maintain, but it ain't gonna be no more fucking money. So what I would rather do is, if I have 1.5 million, you know what I'm saying? If I got 1.5, hold on, let me do it right here. If I got 1.5 million, so that's what, 1,500,000, right? and then I say times that, but let's just say the market is doing 8%, so 0.08 equals that's $120,000 for the year. All I mean, of course the numbers will be different, depending on the market. I'm just doing a quick, simple calculation here, but basically that's over $100,000 for the year. That's a 6-figure salary. Now you divide that by 12 equal. That's about $10,000 a month.
Right.
Now, if I say let's not give them the 10,000. Let's give my family 8,000 a month. And then the extra 2, put that back into the account.
Right.
To continue to compound. So that means let's just say I leave my wife and 2 kids. They get to live off $8,000 a month just to live. At that point, my wife ain't really got to work because, bitch, if you can't pay all the bills with $8,000 a month, then you fucking up.
Right.
Yeah.
And on top of that, let's just say the family does get into some type of fucked up situation. They could borrow against the 1.5 that's still in the account.
Right.
And what I'm saying, this type of strategy shit that I'm talking about is the type of shit that nobody really thinks about, because they think, oh, well, I'm gonna just leave my family $1 million. Like, don't just leave them $1 million. Let the $1 million work for the family into perpetuity. Really,
Absolutely.
Right.
Because as long as there's a stock market, as long as there's a value, they could continue. So that 8,000 that they living off of, that 8,000 that they're living on for the next however many years. Remember what I said. Instead of giving them the whole 10, only give them 8 and put the 2 back.
Right.
And continue compounding. So in the next 10, 20, 40, by the time my kids are adults, that 1.5 would have probably turned into to 2 million, and so on and so on and so on. And if we're breaking it all down by percentages, by the time my kids get to live off it, now it's actually probably 12,000 a month that they living on. And so my kids could split that 6 and 6 and continue on. And that's real. That's real. Let me tell you something. These rich people ain't rich for no fucking reason. That generational wealth shit. That's how that shit starts. Because when you break shit down by percentages, the pot just gets bigger. The pot gets bigger and more compounded.
Right.
All I'm saying is just pinch a little bit a month. Just pinch a little bit a month and put the rest back and let it continue to compound. So truthfully, if you play your cards right, your family don't ever have to work and they can maintain a decent lifestyle.
Right.
You can literally just be patient and work on your passions for life. You see what I'm saying? But again, people don't think about this shit. They're like, oh, my mother died and she left me $1 million. Shit, them nigga, I want a Urus. I want a Lamborghini Urus. I want a house in Miami. You know what I'm saying? I want to ball out in the you know what I mean? And then in a month, the money's done.
Right.
Can't stand black people.
But to your point, that's why the will is important, because the will, you literally delegate how that all happens. To your point, that's the point of the will. Where it's like, you ever watched them TV shows be like, oh yeah, Johnson, you get the sandwich, Jules, you get the car, like you know what I mean? Like that's the whole point of the will, because you could literally do that. You could dictate who gets what. It goes in a trust fund and it goes into a fund, and you don't get this money till you're 38, or you got to finish college before you get to touch this money. So that's the whole thing about the will, is that you can actually control all of that.
Control all that. You know? Yeah. Make sure that they call it infinite what?
That's what infinite banking is.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Bro, I always, like, ever since I learned about like money markets and mutual funds, that whole conversation of what I would do if I won the lottery has been different.
Exactly. That's a fact.
Had a whole fucking conversation. Because when I was younger and I didn't know nothing about mutual funds, oh shit, if I won the lottery, I'm buying my mom's a house, I'm gonna get my sister a car, and I'm gonna get a car for myself, I'm gonna get my house, I'm gonna do this, nigga. When I learned about that shit, I was like, oh, word?
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know about this. They don't know that the money can make the money. They have no idea about this stuff. That's what I'm saying, where it's like, it's so funny how like lack of information.
Yo, I'm telling you,
It's insane. It's insane.
Like me, if I won the lottery and I'm giving money to my family, ain't nobody getting money in their hand. Nobody.
Right.
Nobody. And they probably gonna hate me. Because a lot of people would be like, yo, but if you want to give me $1 million, then just give me the $1 million. That's my money, nigga. Like, what are you doing? No. If I win the lottery and I say, you know what, my cousin over there, that's a special cousin. They always been there for me. They will not get a check for $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
They will get a fucking folder about this thick,
right?
Showing them the breakdown and showing them watch your mailbox because you will be getting a $5,000 check every month,
right?
For the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That would be a letter and a folder showing them the breakdown of the fucking mutual fund account that I set up for them.
Right.
That would be any. Yo, I'm $1 million to my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give $2 million to my moms. Nobody's getting no money in their hand. Everybody's gonna get a fucking letter showing them watch your mailbox.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I swear to God, and it's so funny. It's like, why did it take me till I was damn near 30 when I learned about this shit? I'm like, why did I not know about this?
Mm-hmm. That's what happens,
bro. I'm so mad, bro. I'm so mad because I'm telling you, like in my family history, there was a point in my family history where we had a chance to really lock in on some generational wealth, and my fucking parents.
You dropped the ball.
They dropped the ball, but what I'm saying is they dropped the ball, but ignorantly though. They did, like, we didn't know, because if I knew, I would have went to them and be like, yo, before y'all do this dumb shit, please let me show y'all something.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Before y'all do this dumb shit, let me show you something where y'all can fucking live. Y'all can live off of the hard work that y'all put in for the rest of your life without worrying about nothing. But it ain't right there. Yep. It ain't like that. And both my moms and pops is. I mean, they doing all right, but
right.
It ain't what it could have been. You feel me? Better. It could have been a lot better for them. And I'm busy trying to build up on the mistakes that they fucking made.
Right.
At this point, because my parents could have left generational wealth for the family, but now I see that shit is up to me. Mm-hmm. That shit is literally up to me, because ain't nobody else. Everybody else in my family, like I said, you hand them $1 million, that shit is gone by the end of the month, and nothing to show for it.
Right.
And what I'm saying, and I bring it up I'm using my family as an example, but what I'm saying is that is the mentality of the average person, especially the average person in our community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because bro, think about this shit. Your job is paying you about what, $3,600 a month.
Right.
And I'm telling you that if you do it like this, you can get a check for $6,000 and you don't even have to work.
Right.
Check this out. You can keep your job. So now you get $36 a month, and you still get another $6,000 from the trust that I set up for you with the you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I swear, I've had these conversations with my family, and they're like, nah, fuck all that. Just give me the money. And I'm talking about, you know how it is when you argue with family too, right?
Right.
Yeah. In arguments, like, fuck that. Why would you do that? That's stupid. And I'm like,
that's wild.
I'm like, really? You would rather me hand you the $1 million rather than set up an account for you to get like $6,000 to $8,000 a month for the rest of your life?
Right.
You're like, yeah, nah, fuck that. I want all the money. If you gonna give it to me, then just give it to me. Fuck
that. Then they gonna spend it all, and then when it's all done and they gotta go to work, they're gonna be complaining about having to go to work. It's the crazy shit.
Mm-hmm. Crazy, bro. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, but that's why I love what y'all do, man. I love what y'all do, man. Y'all got to keep educating the people, and put us in a position where we could actually create some generational wealth. Cause let me tell you something. Fuck racism. The only color out there is green, man.
That's a fact.
The only color out there is green. And when everybody see that we ain't the last ones to recognize how to make money work for us, that's when everyone will see no color.
Right.
You understand? Because we gonna be at the table just the same. Using all of them same words. Oh yeah. You know, my father set up a trust and a mutual fund portfolio for us, and we could talk all that same talk. Y'all could talk.
Right.
You understand? And then and only then will they will not see color. Because you hear a lot of these cats on the podcast. They be like, yo, you know, I be in rooms with millionaires. As a millionaire, I be in rooms with millionaires. These niggas don't give a fuck that I'm black.
Right. Exactly.
I'm a millionaire. You're a millionaire. That's all they see. And then we could talk. We could discuss.
Yeah.
That's all they see. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, it's a big thing.
Real talk. So, guys, any other last things you want to say before we wrap this up?
Yeah, nah, man. Just go to the site, book an appointment, get a policy. I mean, don't die broke.
Exactly. That's
the event. Before we go to the event, this Saturday coming up, we have our home buyer seminar in Stamford, Connecticut. If you go to the site, we're gonna have the flyer on the site. So go to the site and also the Eventbrite, right?
Yep, Eventbrite. Yep, the link.
You're gonna get the link as well to register on the Eventbrite. And you know, if you have family and friends in Stamford, Connecticut, or Bridgeport, Connecticut, or in the neighboring areas, Jersey, New York, come out. You know, we're gonna be talking about you know, real estate, credit, life insurance, things of that nature. So definitely come. It's gonna be, you know, refreshments, and you know, come out, have a good time.
All right, hold on. You said you go to the website and then what is it? Events, right?
The event tab should be on there. March 1st should be on there, I believe too.
All right, right here. This joint right here.
Yeah.
All right, so let's click here. Go to the event joint. Let me see. Did it go? All right, there it is. Legacy Builders, and they go to the event.
Yeah. Make sure I get up on that.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure you guys go to Legacy Builders US. Go to the event tab, and then y'all could be at the 2025 Home Buyer Seminar. If you're ready to become a homeowner, you can get all the great information how to take the first steps towards getting your dream home and learn about budgeting, credit, mortgage, and all that shit matters. Because the most important part from what I know about buying a house is that damn that interest, that fucking interest rate. And the better your credit, and the better your credit, the better your down payment, the better your budget, the better all that shit is the better your interest rate will be. They'll lock you in at a good rate, and then it'll be better for you, so you can pay that shit off faster, man, and take care of your shit. All right, guys. So make sure you guys go to legacybuildersus.com and get with Rashidi and Kayleen and make it happen. All right.
All right, guys. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. And we'll holler at y'all later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. We gonna be out. Later.